Okay. Uh, yesterday we have seen phosphorus. No, we are still with phosphorus only. Phosphorus is yet not been completed. No? Phosphorus has yet not been completed. We will start with. We will continue with phosphorus. Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay, and you can hear me properly. Good. Okay. Okay. I will start with. I will continue with phosphorus. Okay. We have seen how the acute poisoning occurs. How the acute poisoning occurs. It causes local irritative action on gastrointestinal tract, and it is having its remote action also. Remote action after the absorption of poison systemically. So the usual now the death by acute phosphorus poisoning is rare. Death is very rare, and the usual clinical course we have seen yesterday. Usual clinical course with acute phosphorus poisoning, patient will recover, patient will feel better from acute poisoning like vomiting and all. Then absorbed poison will give rise to secondary symptoms because of remote action. The original symptoms like irritation, vomiting and all, they will return. Jaundice and abdominal distension will start now because of involvement of the liver. Liver is enlarged, later on it undergoes shrinkage because of necrosis, what we call it as acute yellow atrophy of the liver. Purpura and epistaxis is because of thrombocytopenia. Anemia is also there. Urine is scanty because of suppressed function of kidney, and excessive excretion of blood, albumin and essential amino acids like tyrosine, leucine, cysteine because of disturbed metabolism. Then we have seen abortion. Nervous system is also involved with the manifestations like frontal pain, insomnia, ringing sounds in the ear and impairment of the vision. Then patient can have uremia, that is increased blood urea level. Increased blood urea level that will further damage the nervous system, what we call it as uremic coma, and patient can die because of this multi-system failure. And jaundice and hemorrhage. Jaundice and hemorrhage are the most prominent features of yellow atrophy of liver. So because of yellow atrophy of the liver, because of accumulation of large amount of fat in the liver, jaundice and hemorrhage will be manifested. Now we will see fatal dose. Fatal dose of phosphorus. So fatal dose is 120 milligram. That is exactly equal to fatal dose of arsenic. So fatal dose of phosphorus is very much similar to the fatal dose of arsenic. That is 120 milligram is one fourth of the crocin tablet. You can imagine how small it is. Then vomiting will cause recovery even after the large, just like arsenic. If the large dose of phosphorus has been swallowed, it will induce vomiting. It will cause vomiting, and that vomiting will cause expulsion of large amount of phosphorus that has entered the stomach, and it patient will survive because of expulsion by vomiting. Fatal period. If now we have seen the two courses. We have seen the two courses of the poisoning. One is acute phosphorus poisoning, where the death will occur because of collapse, vomiting and all. Death will occur because of collapse within 24 hours. And another way of death is remote action of the poison. Remote action of the poison, as we have seen here. So renal failure, hepatic failure, then damage to the renal central nervous system. All these multi-system breakdown, all these complications will take around 6 to 7 days for the death of the person. So death from collapse within 24 hours by acute poisoning, and if the poisoning goes by usual course, the death will occur within 6 to 7 days or even longer, depending upon how the complications are developing. Now very important part is treatment of acute phosphorus poisoning. The treatment, while giving the treatment, when the patient is suspected to have phosphorus poisoning, the physician should use the rubber gloves, because you know that phosphorus ignites very easily, so it can cause injury to the physician as well as to the attendants like nurse, ward boy and all that. So they, the people who are dealing with the case of phosphorus poisoning, they should wear the rubber gloves. Then oily substances and milk should be avoided because they increase the absorption of phosphorus, that we have seen in the general toxicology. The oily substances and milk should be prevented because they will cause further dissolution. They will further dissolve the phosphorus, and that's why its absorption will be rapid across the gastrointestinal tract wall or mucosa. That's why oily substances and milk should be prevented. And treatment in early part, in the early hours of the poisoning, the treatment is very effective. You can go for repeated stomach wash. Repeated stomach wash with potassium permanganate solution, KMnO4, that is potassium permanganate solution, till there is no more smell of garlic. So when you will go for the first stomach wash, what will happen, the returning fluid will have strong garlicky odor. You will have to repeat the stomach wash. The gastric lavage or stomach wash with potassium permanganate is to be repeated till the returning fluid is not having uh, the returning fluid will not have a garlicky odor. Uh, okay, potassium permanganate, it will also work as a chemical antidote. Potassium permanganate will work as a chemical antidote, and it will cause oxidization of the phosphorus. It will cause oxidization of the phosphorus to uh, harmless compounds. So harmless compounds will be formed when potassium permanganate will react chemically with the phosphorus, and these compounds can be taken out by gastric lavage. Then bowels can be emptied by purgatives, by giving the purgatives means the substances which cause loose motion. So by giving the purgatives, the unabsorbed poison from the large intestine can be taken out. Then potassium permanganate later on can be replaced by copper sulfate solution. So give the repeated wash with potassium permanganate, then you can go for stomach wash with copper sulfate. Liquid paraffin will reduce the absorption. What the liquid paraffin will do? Anyone? What is the term for that? What the liquid paraffin will do? Yes, it will cause the coating on the gastrointestinal mucosa. Particularly, we will talk of stomach. It will create the coating over the gastric mucosa, and that's why absorption will be prevented. This action is called as, the substances which cause this action is called as, anyone? Have you heard the term demulcents? Do you remember the term demulcents? Yes. So what are the demulcents? Demulcents will create the coating, and you know paraffin. Paraffin is very sticky. It is very thick, sticky. It will oily. It is very oily. It will create the coating on interior of the stomach, because of which the phosphorus will not be absorbed across the gastrointestinal tract mucosa. So it will create the mechanical barrier between the poison, phosphorus, and gastric mucosa. So absorption will be prevented. Then IV fluids should be, plenty of IV fluids should be given to treat the shock, because patient has developed severe vomiting. Patient can get dehydration, and to take care of the dehydration, plenty of IV fluid should be given to maintain the circulating volume. And in case of reduced calcium, if patient is having reduced serum calcium, you can go for injection calcium gluconate. Sodium bicarbonate will act as a antacid. It will act as an antacid. And dextrose to protect the liver, that is IV saline. IV saline, if the large amount of glycogen has been depleted, there is depletion of the glycogen from the liver, and that glycogen has been replaced by large amount of fat, what we call it as fatty degeneration. So you will have to go for plenty of glucose, particularly dextrose. Then okay, this is in short about treatment part. Oily substances should be prevented. Stomach wash should be given to take out the unabsorbed poison from the stomach, and you can go for other mechanical antidotes like liquid paraffin as a demulcent, and wash with potassium permanganate, and later on by copper sulfate solution. You just remember these two three names, so that it will be easy for you to write the treatment part. Then uh, again important is taking care of the shock, or if the patient has developed profuse vomiting, patient is dehydrated, you will have to go for plenty of IV fluids, and dextrose to protect the liver from fatty degeneration. Now, medico-legal aspect. Yellow phosphorus is ingredient of rodent and insect poison. That's why easily available at home. चूहे मारने की दवा, घर में जो कीड़े मकोड़े रहते हैं वो मारने की जो दवा रहती है उसमें फॉस्फोरस रहता है. दैट्स व्हाई दिस येलो फॉस्फोरस इज इंग्रेडिएंट ऑफ ऑल these poisons which are mainly rodent and insect poisons. And another very important medical legal aspect is industrial exposure with the phosphorus is common. It is frequently seen because of fireworks and wartime products. मतलब वो जो ब्लास्ट के लिए हम दिवाली में जो फटाके फोड़ते हैं ना, फटाके अलग अलग कलर के, अलग अलग ऊपर फटाका फूटने के बाद नो यू नो सो मेनी व्हरायटीज. आता तुम्हाला माहिती असतील बरीचशी भुईचक्र, पाऊस किंवा बाण, आकाशात जाऊन फुटणारे फटाके वेगवेगळ्या कलरचे, हे त्याच्यातून जे वेगवेगळे कलर्स येतात ना, हे वेगवेगळे फटाके वाजल्यानंतर दे ऑल आर बिकॉज ऑफ फॉस्फरस. So phosphorus gives those very nice looking different colors when those so many firecrackers break or when they blast. So म्हणजे कारखान्यात फटाक्याच्या कारखान्यामध्ये, दारू गोळ्याच्या कारखान्यामध्ये, that's why I have mentioned here war time products. लड़ाई के लिए, युद्ध के लिए जो भी वो जो बॉम्ब वगैरह बनते हैं उसमें सब वो दिस phosphorus is used very commonly. So the fireworks, फटाके वगैरह बनाने के लिए this phosphorus is used. That's why the people working in these firework factories and particularly in these wartime products like bombs and all, these workers are exposed to the phosphorus and they can develop, because of repeated exposure to the small amount of phosphorus, maybe ingestion, inhalation, they will develop the chronic phosphorus poisoning. Then because of its smell, taste and luminosity, because of its smell, that is garlicky odor, taste is, it is also very painful and what we call burning taste in the mouth, and very important luminosity. Luminosity मतलब हवा में ओपन रखा तो वो तुरंत जलता है. It immediately catches the fire when it is kept open in the air. That's why because of these three characteristics like smell, taste and luminosity, that is shining in the air, it cannot be used for killing someone. किसी को फॉस्फोरस दे के मार डाला है, फॉस्फोरस का पॉइजनिंग करके, ऐसा नहीं होगा. बिकॉज इट्स स्मेल, इट कैन बी इजीली डिटेक्टेड बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स बर्निंग टेस्ट एंड ल्यूमिनोसिटी, इट्स शाइनिंग. ऐसे जलता हुआ कुछ तो दिख रहा है, नो वन कैन swallow it, no. So that's why it cannot be used for homicide. And another important thing, medical legal aspect of phosphorus poisoning is it can be detected in putrefied body. So समझो किसी कोई आदमी फॉस्फोरस पॉइजनिंग से मर गया है तो, और उसकी बॉडी गाड़ दी गई है ज़मीन में, and even if the body has been recovered from many days or even weeks, that phosphorus can be detected in putrefied body. So any other poison we have completed, you know, which can be detected in putrefied bodies or which retards putrefaction. मतलब मरने के कई महीनों बाद भी वो पॉइजन यू कैन डिटेक्ट फ्रॉम द डेड बॉडीज, इवन फ्रॉम द putrefied or mutilated dead bodies. Any other poison? Arsenic, yes, arsenic is also also very important medical legal aspect. That is, it retards putrefaction. So it can be found in a mutilated dead body or even in case of burnt dead body. अगदी जाळून जरी टाकलेली असली एखादी dead body, still the arsenic can be detected. So you can remember the second poison which retards the putrefaction is phosphorus. It can be detected in putrefied or mutilated dead bodies. And accidental poisoning in children because of eating accidental consumption of firecrackers or rat paste. म्हणजे घरामध्ये काहीतरी उंदीर मारण्याचं औषध आणून ठेवलेलं आहे आणि चुकून ते मुलांनी खाल्लं. इट कॅन कॉज ॲक्सिडेंटल पॉइझनिंग इन द चिल्ड्रन. अँड दिस इज व्हेरी कॉमन इन दिवाळी. फायर क्रॅकर चुकून मुलं त्या फटाक्यामधले दारूचे हात किंवा चुकून ते लहान मुलं फटाके तोंडात घालतात. सो इट कॅन कॉज accidental poisoning in the children. So accidental exposure in case of industrial exposure, the workers who are dealing with the fireworks, then cannot be used for homicide because of its taste, smell and its luminosity or its characteristic to catch fire immediately when exposed to the air. And accidental poisoning occurs in children where they can consume the firecrackers or rat paste which has been kept at the home. Now again, chronic phosphorus poisoning is very commonly asked as a 5-mark short note. Very repeatedly, it is very frequently asked as a 5-mark short note. So we'll see separately what is chronic phosphorus poisoning. Chronic phosphorus poisoning is rare. It is mainly seen in industrial area, just I told you. any worker who is dealing with the phosphorus, maybe in the wartime product, बॉम्ब दारुगोळा बनवण्याचा कारखाना किंवा हे फटाके बनवण्याचे कारखाने की ज्याच्यामध्ये the worker is continuously repeatedly in contact with the phosphorus, particularly yellow phosphorus. And another example we have seen in the introduction part of phosphorus, manufacture of matches from yellow phosphorus. येलो फॉस्फरस हा काडीपेटी बनवण्यासाठी वापरला जातो. काडीपेटीचा बाजूचा जो सरफेस असतो ज्याच्यावर आपण काडी घासतो आणि काडीचा गुल, काडीचा पुढचा तो जो ग्लोब्यूल असतो तो ब्राउन कलरचा, that contains yellow phosphorus. So people who are working in wartime products, people who are working in firecracker industry, and people who are working in matchstick industry, matchstick बनवण्याच्या कारखान्यामध्ये काम करणाऱ्या लोकांचा continuously, these workers are continuously in contact with the phosphorus, and that's why they can develop chronic phosphorus poisoning because of repeated consumption of phosphorus during their work. And it mainly occurs by inhalation. So the fumes of yellow phosphorus, fumes of that yellow phosphorus will continuously or repeatedly go into their mouth, through the nose into the respiratory tract, and it will cause poisoning. It mainly attacks the jaw. Chronic phosphorus poisoning is mainly manifested in jawbone, and it causes the condition I have written in bold manner, that is phossy jaw. It is asked as a 2-mark question. So it is very commonly asked as a 2-mark question, what is phossy jaw. I will just tell you. So gas, that fumes of the phosphorus or phosphoric acid, they will attack the jaw, and it is mainly seen in the teeth which are already decayed. म्हणजे एखाद्या कामगाराचे दात जर सडलेले, आपण काय म्हणतो किडलेले, एखाद्या कामगाराचे दात जर आधीच किडलेले असतील, त्याच्यामध्ये आधीच जर इन्फेक्शन असेल, तर त्याच्यामध्ये दिस फॉसी जॉ तिथून स्टार्ट होण्याचे चान्सेस जास्त असतात. So the person or the worker who is already having decayed tooth with microorganisms already present, that person is more likely to be affected by the condition called as phossy jaw. So phossy jaw is manifested by toothache. त्या कामगारामध्ये आता दातदुखी चालू होईल, toothache, swelling of the jaw, म्हणजे जबड्याला सूज येईल त्याच्या, loosening of the teeth, and necrosis of the gum. And it will ultimately cause, because it will go deeper and deeper and ultimately into the jawbone, what we call it as mandible, and it will cause sequestration. Sequestration, that is destruction of the mandible, and the condition is called as phossy jaw. So you will have to write the answer in 2 lines. Phossy jaw is seen in chronic phosphorus poisoning, and it is manifested by toothache, swelling of the jaw, loosening of the teeth, and sequestration of the bone, that is mandible. Mandible हळूहळू सडून जातं, and it will be manifested as osteomyelitis of jawbone with multiple sinuses discharging फाउल स्मेलिंग पस, म्हणजे अत्यंत खराब वासाचा पस त्याच्यातून कंटिन्यूस वाहत राहतो. सायनसेस तयार होतात. द बोन इज डिस्ट्रॉइड, mandible is destroyed, it has undergone sequestration, and that's why whatever the empty spaces are created, what we call it as sinuses, they will be filled with the pus, and that pus is having very bad smell. So osteomyelitis of the jawbone with multiple sinuses which are discharging bad smelling pus, the condition is called as phossy jaw. Remember, it is asked as a 2-mark question and also asked in orals. So I will just repeat, phossy jaw is mainly seen in the people or the workers who are dealing with the firecrackers or matchstick industry, where they are continuously and repeatedly exposed to the small amounts of phosphorus, particularly phosphoric acid fumes. These fumes will first attack the jaw and jawbone, and particularly in that part of the jaw or that tooth will be first affected which is already decayed, where already the microorganisms are present, and it will be manifested by loosening of the teeth, necrosis of the gum सुद्धा खराब होतील त्याच्या, and sequestration of the mandible with osteomyelitic changes in the jawbone. The osteomyelitic changes in the jawbone, and it will be manifested by foul smelling discharge from the sinuses. This thing you can write, and I tell you, phossy jaw has also been asked as a separate 5-mark short note. Not frequently, but it has been asked as a separate 5-mark short note. Here you will have to write down not only phossy jaw, to fill the pages. Now you people know better how to fill the pages in exam, but to fill the pages you can write the chronic phosphorus poisoning when it is asked as a 5-mark short note. Then absorb poison, The absorbed poison systemically will cause weakness, weight loss, anemia, pain in joints. The patient will have severe weight loss, anemia, multiple joint pains. And another feature, excreta and breath may have garlicky odor. म्हणजे त्याच्या युरिनला, फिसेसला, स्वेटला, even breathe, they all will have garlicky odor. So all the excreta and breath will have garlicky odor. Prevention is the matter of public health, because preventing the phosphorus poisoning in workers is the matter of public health, and that's why the people who are working in firecrackers or in you can say some war product industry, दारू गोळ्याचा कारखाना, फटाक्यांचा कारखाना किंवा मॅस्टिकचा कारखाना, अशा ठिकाणी काम करणाऱ्या लोकांची केअरफुल अँड रेग्युलर डेंटल चेकअप शुड बी कॅरीड आउट. त्या लोकांची रेग्युलर डेंटल चेकअप करायचे. अँड द वर्कर्स हु आर हॅव्हिंग डिकेड टूथ, द वर्कर्स हु आर ऑलरेडी हॅव्हिंग डिकेड टूथ, त्यांना तुम्ही जागा बदलायला सांगायची कामाची, व त्यांना तिथे कामावर ठेवू नका की जिथे दे विल बी रिपीटेडली एक्सपोज टू द फॉस्फरस अँड phosphoric acid gas. So prevention is very important. So careful and regular dental checkup of the workers, त्या वर्करचे 3 महिन्यांनी 6 महिन्यांनी रेग्युलरली डेंटल चेकअप करायचे, एक्सरे करायचे, डेंटल एक्सरे करायचे. अँड द वर्कर्स हु आर हॅव्हिंग carried tooth, the workers who are having carried teeth, you will have to shift these workers to the other side. Remove the patient, just I told you, remove the patient from further exposure. And if the bone, if the mandible or the jaw bone is already destructed or sequestration has occurred, you will have to go for surgical excision. That part of the bone is to be removed by surgery. Okay, so this is all about phosphorus poisoning and chronic phosphorus poisoning. Everyone, all of you got, everyone is getting chronic phosphorus poisoning? समझ में आ रहा है? Everyone, you got the treatment also? Everyone understood the treatment? Acute phosphorus poisoning? Hello, can you hear me? Yes, ऐकू येते ना? Okay. So got everyone? Phosphorus can be asked as a 20 mark question, can be asked as a 5 mark short note, and there are some 2 mark questions as well. Phosphorus poisoning. Okay, Fossija, I have told all the details of Fossija. Okay, today we will take some part of mercury poisoning. Not complete, we cannot complete it today, but we will start with mercury. Where we get the mercury? Where you have seen the mercury? Thermometer, yes, very good. Yes, very good. And BP apparatus, yes, very good. Yes, so mercury is used in thermometer, in BP apparatus. That's why we are continuously in contact with, not directly in contact with the mercury, but we use the mercury in our day-to-day practice. Nowadays, some health authorities, you people might not be knowing. I think many of the people from second year class, seniors, have bought the mercury, but we have not got that mercury BP apparatus. So many people, so many students have bought the BP apparatus when we had started that blood pressure checkup camps and all. But these students, I think many students from your class also had taken the BP apparatus from me. No, I had bought it from outside. Those BP apparatus will be non-mercury. They will be non-mercury, the dial type, what we call it, a dial type. तो mercury की, क्योंकि some health authorities have suggested that don't use the mercury. Don't use mercury. It is hazardous to the life or to the health. That's why mercury BP apparatus are soon going to be banned. That's why we are using the dial type, घड़ी जैसा दिखता है वो dial type mercury, dial type BP apparatus we are using. So metallic mercury. So you know this is the only metal which is liquid state. This is the only metal which is in liquid state at normal temperature. So metallic mercury, commonly known as another name is quicksilver, because it looked like silver. You might have seen it looks like silver. That's why the common name of mercury is quicksilver. This is the metal. Mercury is a metal which is in liquid state. It is non poisonous when swallowed because it cannot be absorbed. किसी ने mercury के कुछ drops हाथ में लिए हैं फिजियोलॉजी लैब में वगैरह कहीं किसी ने mercury हाथ में लिया है कुछ ड्रॉप्स उसके हाथ में लिए कि किसी ने इट इज वेरी वेरी हेवी यस इट इज वेरी हेवी मतलब एक दो बूंद भी लोगे तो यू कैन फील इट्स वेट बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा हेवी रहता है सो इट इज़ नॉन पॉइजनस व्हेन swallowed बिकॉज इट कैन नॉट बी एब्सॉर्ब वो जो बीपी apparatus में थर्मामीटर में मर्क्यूरी आता है वो अगर कोई गलती से swallow कर जाता है इट विल नॉट कॉज पॉइजनिंग बिकॉज इट विल नॉट बी एब्सॉर्ब अक्रॉस द गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल ट्रैक्ट म्यूकोजा बिकॉज इट इज़ वेरी हेवी it can be poisonous it will be poisonous if it is finely divided and inhaled if it is finely divided into powder or it is inhaled its fumes are inhaled swallowed or rubbed on the skin then only it will be absorbed and will cause the toxic effects some limiting timing संपला तुला काय वाटलं मी तुझ्याशी बोलतोय का
कळत होतं ना तू बघत होतं ना काय पाहिजे मला कळत नाही काय माझी
स्क्रीन रेकॉर्ड झालं चलो फास्ट अरे अरे 29 30 चलो जल्दी you can see my screen you can see my screen can you hear me yes आवाज येतोय ना माझा ओके 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 चलो how many have joined let me see it's 41 come on hurry up 41 chalo I will continue let them join okay we'll see mercury poisoning also called as quicksilver this is the only metal which is liquid in form it is non-poisonous when swallowed because it cannot be absorbed as a whole it is poisonous if finely powdered and finely divided and inhaled swallowed or rubbed on the skin on inhalation also it will be absorbed and will enter the blood vapors are toxic vapors of mercury are toxic which are commonly seen in industry or laboratory particularly industrial and laboratory use the vapors can be inhaled and they can cause poisoning uh, okay sorry the mercury is used extensively very widely it is used in arts in dentistry also and in so many commercial places it is used very commonly in these areas now mercury is present in the nature mercury is present in the nature in two forms mercury chloride and mercurous chloride mercury chloride is also called as perchloride of mercury it is called as perchloride of mercury and in the nature this mercury chloride is available in the form of powder or tablet and it is commonly used as a germicidal agent and it is the commonest cause of acute poisoning so as compared to mercurous chloride or calomel this mercury chloride poisoning is more common so mercury chloride or perchloride of mercury is the common cause of acute poisoning and another form of the mercury which is available in the nature is mercurous chloride or another common name of mercurous chloride is calomel it is also called as calomel it is subchloride of mercury it is heavy amorphous tasteless white powder which is insoluble in water, and it is responsible, calomel is responsible for pink disease of infants. न्यूबॉर्न बेबी मध्ये दात चांगले येण्यासाठी जे टीथिंग पावडर वापरतात दातांसाठी, that teething powder contains that small amount of calomel or mercurous chloride. That's why it causes the condition called as pink disease of infants. So it is mainly seen in newborn babies because of its use in the teething powder. Now we will see mercury poisoning. How the acute mercury poisoning, how the acute mercury poisoning occurs, we will see. So it can be absorbed through all the channels we have seen, through the gastrointestinal tract, through the skin, through the inhalation. When the powder is rubbed on the skin, it will cause poisoning. When it is inhaled in the form of fumes, it will cause poisoning, and in powder when it is ingested, it will cause poisoning. So it can be absorbed through all the channels like respiratory tract, GIT, or even the skin. Then large dose of soluble salt, large dose of soluble salt of mercury, large dose of soluble salt of mercury will cause poisonous effect, and it is yes, yes, any problem? You can hear me? Mercury is, yes. Mercury is rapidly taken up by the tissues. It is very rapidly absorbed across the tissues into the tissues, and its highest concentration when the poisoning has occurred, its highest concentration is found in the kidney, then in the liver. Decreasing order. Highest concentration of mercury will be found in the kidney, then in the liver, then in the spleen, the wall of the intestine, heart, skeletal muscle, and lungs. So it affects each and every part of the body, but here I have just mentioned in which tissues, in which parts of the body it will be seen in more amount. So highest concentration will be in the kidney, liver, and spleen, and with the decreasing order in the rest of the organs. Insoluble mercury, if the insoluble mercury, like the mercury that is present in the thermometer or in the BP apparatus, if this insoluble mercury is taken orally, its large concentration, it cannot be absorbed. It cannot be absorbed. The large concentration of mercury will be found in the intestine, because it will not be absorbed across the gastrointestinal tract mucosa. It will not be absorbed across the small intestinal mucosa, and it will be carried undissolved, unabsorbed into the large intestine, and at some places in the large intestine it will get accumulated, and only because of its mechanical presence and its weight, it will cause serious injuries to the colon. It will cause serious trauma or injuries like ulcerations on the large intestine. This insoluble mercury when taken orally will not be absorbed across the gastrointestinal tract mucosa, and this unaltered, unabsorbed mercury will be carried to the large intestine and will cause injury to the large intestine. So today we will see only the signs and symptoms, signs and symptoms of acute mercury poisoning. So when the mercury is swallowed, when the mercury is taken orally or inhaled, it will cause metallic taste in the in the mouth. It will cause metallic taste in the mouth, just like all other heavy metals. Arsenic, there will be metallic taste in the mouth. In case of lead, there will be metallic taste in the mouth. So metallic taste in the mouth. Then violent symptoms will occur within a few minutes of ingestion with constrictive feeling in the throat. गळा दाबल्यासारखं आतून काहीतरी कोणीतरी गळा दाबल्यासारखं असं. So what we call it constrictive feeling in the throat, and there will be burning from mouth to the stomach. Patient will have burning from mouth, pharynx, esophagus to the stomach. Mouth, tongue, and throat will be corroded. They will be badly burned or they will be corroded, and there will be vomiting of large stringy masses of white mucus followed by profuse purging. Sticky, because of the erosion of the gastric mucosa. Because of the erosion of the gastric mucosa, this white mucus will be vomited in the form of white strings, large stringy masses of white mucus followed by profuse vomiting, and later on because of scrapings of the stomach it will cause bloody vomiting. Then because of repeated vomiting, patient may get dehydrated, patient can go into shock, collapse. It will be manifested by cold, clammy skin, pale, anxious face. All these are the signs of shock or circulatory collapse because of dehydration. So the body will become cold, clammy skin, pale, anxious face, sunken eyes, dilated pupils, rapid pupil pulse. All these are the symptoms of shock. And ultimately patient will go into syncope and convulsion. If the death is not rapid, if the patient doesn't die immediately because of the shock like condition, on second or third day the salivation, profuse salivation will be there, swollen gums will be there, and foul breath will be there. Mercury has been completed in Mater Medica. Merck Sol in Mater Medica lectures. Merck Sol has been completed. No, not yet. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, why I was asking, because this symptom picture of mercury poisoning is very similar to the its drug picture. मटर अमेरिका में जो उसके नीचे symptom दिए हैं, that is profuse salivation, swollen gums, then ulcerations on the mouth. There will be stomatitis. What is stomatitis? What is stomatitis? Anyone? What is stomatitis? Anyone? What is stomatitis? Array, what is this? Very easy. Hmm? Anyone? Let it be wrong. What is stomatitis? Of itis means inflammation. Inflammation of माउथ. तोंड तू वारंवार तोंड येणं, सारखं सारखं तोंड येणं, बऱ्याचशा पेशंटची कंप्लेंट असते सारखं सारखं तोंड येणं, मग छोटे छोटे व्हाईट अल्सर्स येतात ओरल म्युकोजावर, ओठाच्या आतून जिभेवर. That is inflammation of the oral mucosa. Stomatitis is inflammation of the oral mucosa. That is very characteristic symptom of Merck in homeopathic Mater Medica. I am telling you. Here also that symptom will be seen in the chronic mercury poisoning, that we will see later on. So here we are discussing acute poisoning. So acute poisoning will be manifested by metallic taste in the mouth with severe burning pain, corrosion of the esophagus, corrosion of the stomach, burning pain from mouth to the stomach, mouth, tongue, throat, everything will be corroded, and vomiting of large stringy masses of white mucus. Patient can go into shock, and there will be profuse salivation. If the patient doesn't die by the shock with this presentation, and on second or third day there will be profuse salivation, swollen gums, and foul breath. Then there will be loosening of the teeth. The teeth will become loose, and it is also having nephrotoxicity. So what are the poisons which are having their action on the kidney? Carbonic acid, oxalic acid, arsenic, and mercury. These are the, you just go on adding to the list. You just go on adding to the list what are the nephrotoxic poisons, what are the hepatotoxic poison. So it is nephrotoxic poison. Mercury is one of the nephrotoxic poisons, you remember. And inhalation of high concentration of mercury vapors, मतलब अगर बहुत ज़्यादा mercury vapors थ्रू द रेस्पिरेशन, नाक से मुंह से बहुत ज़्यादा अगर बॉडी में जाते हैं, it will be manifested by stomatitis, that is inflammation of the oral mucosa, profuse salivation, metallic taste, diarrhea. These all are the symptoms of chronic. These all are the symptoms of Merck Sol, that is our homeopathic medicine prepared from this mercury. So you will study it in Mater Medica. Stomatitis, salivation, metallic taste in the mouth, these all symptoms will be present in the Merck Sol patient. And there will also be pneumonitis because of inhalation. There pneumonitis will be there, and severe renal damage. Fatal dose is 1 to 2 grams. It's a bit more. कारण आतापर्यंत आपण जे fatal dose पाहिले, they all were in the milligrams. Milligram, 120 milligram, like that. But here, mercury is very heavy, very very heavy. So it will also be more. So 1 to 2 grams of the mercury will be enough to kill an average sized adult. So fatal dose is 1 to 2 grams. And mercurial diuretics are also toxic. What do you mean by diuretics? What do you mean by diuretics? Diuretics, the medicines which are given to induce the urination. म्हणजे म्हणजे एखाद्या पेशंटला युरिन पास होत नसेल, मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ सम डिसीज कंडिशन, वी गो फॉर diuretics. Diuretics means medicines which will cause the diuresis, profuse urination. And in allopathy there are certain diuretic substances or diuretic medicines which contain the mercury. And if any patient is receiving these diuretics which are containing mercury for long period, the person can develop mercury poisoning. And fatal period, death can occur within 2 to 3 hours. We have seen the two ways of the pathology here. If the death is not rapid, the patient can survive for a few days and can die because of the multisystem breakdown. So patient can die within 2 to 3 hours by acute poisoning, or within 3 to 5 days because of renal failure. And the renal failure will be manifested by uremia, increased blood urea level. So patient will die within 2 to 3 hours by acute mercury poisoning, or after the absorbed mercury it will damage the kidney and patient will die because of uremia within 3 to 5 days. Okay, this is all about acute mercury poisoning. Okay, today we'll stop here. We have started the lecture a bit late and I will also have to go to OPD. It's nearly I think 5:45 something. uh, okay, today we'll stop here. अंडरस्टूड एवरीवन? फॉस्फोरस मर्क्यूरी समझ में आ रहा है? एवरीवन? Okay then. Read again. I tell you, please read the notes. Please read the notes. What are the points from which I am teaching you? Please read the notes after finishing the lecture, so that so many things will be clear to you all. And if you have any query, you can ask me on WhatsApp, or you can ask me in the next lecture also. Okay then, tomorrow we will meet at 3 only, because tomorrow there is no theory paper. Tomorrow I will not be going to college, so I will take the lecture tomorrow at 3 p.m. Okay then, I will end the meeting for all. Bye, see you, bye everyone. Okay, bye.